Hey, what is going on, my fellow lawyers? And welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Oh man, what voice does this guy have? I have no idea. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly, unreasonable. That'll do. I see. Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper. Wise words on whitewashing! What is with this guy?
You must be a man of great standing.
Oh yes, so I'm often told. And often like to be told, it seems. Why is he sweating so much? Okay, bit of a weird place to leave it. The accusation against you. Ah, yeah, this must be the geezer we're defending, right?
Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested?
I didn't do it. I didn't commit that atrocious murder. I thought he was going to start dancing like mega magnificent murder.
Murder?
Oh, no. No, it's all right. The woman didn't actually die, did she? What? But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes. Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker? This is getting weirder. I didn't see anyone. What? If I'd seen the person who did it, do you think I'd be locked up in here?
Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Aren't they all? Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse of London. It's... Here we go, I can feel it. Incredibly, inexcusably, irritatingly inconvenient. I knew it. So, he was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker.
It's vital that we find out more about the case.
Secret third option? Yeah, about the case. It was an accursed evening just after the snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings. Sure the bookshop wasn't accursed too? As I was walking about that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman wearing a green overcoat she was. I thought he said he didn't see who did it. Oh, this must be the woman who got stabbed he's on about. And just as I went to overtake her... What? Oh, right in the back. She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. Damn, they got her good. What was he doing?
How terrible!
I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like her. Ghostly, ghoulish, grim graveyard. Oh man, we set him off big time. Slight exaggeration there, perhaps. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings. Man. So people just think he stabbed some woman and legged it. It's well harsh. That's not good. They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
Tell me, was the victim an acquaintance of yours?
Don't be ridiculous. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that? I'm diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people. I see. A young woman unknown to him. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anybody pass you? Regrettably, apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul. No one? Oh, great.
So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
What conundrum? Secret fourth option, conundrum. She looks so worried. What do you mean? What's the conundrum?
Well, if what he has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. Then he apparently fled without having been seen.
Oh yeah, if no one is around, how did he get seen? I did. But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit. Ah! You! What did you just say? Wait, weren't we thinking that? Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops, perhaps I thought that a little loudly. What? What a weirdo.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did he actually come to be arrested?
Yeah, exactly. If no one saw him, how did he get followed home or whatever? Sorry?
He didn't touch the victim and there was nobody at the scene to see him.
He must have dropped something well blatant with his address on it. Like I don't know, like a receipt from the bookshop?
So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place?
Oh yeah, she's right. It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. Oh no, it was one of Sherlock Sholmes's hunches. Of all the bad luck. Accursed great detective. Could it be? I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed busybody, begone! Yep, may you be cursed until the end of your days, Sherlock Sholmes! I knew it! Okay, we got the giggles in already this episode. It's gonna be a good one. Oh, yo, okay. Super secret third option. Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure. It was the morning after that nightmare had unfolded on the pavement before me. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in through the door. They started shouting at me, "This is the police, put the weapon down!" Yes, it was a thin sliver, and yes, it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon! Disgusting dietary discrimination devils! You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. And there he was, in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat! That's Sherlock Sholmes! It's actually just Sherlock Sholmes. He's English. Oh, he was doing it in the German way. Got ya. I've since found out he's a famous name in detection here in London.
Yes, the great detective is really very well known.
And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me, this weak, stooped kitten of a man. I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time.
Do you mean to say that his deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable.
Yeah, there must be some sort of evidence, right? Yeah, here we go. Well, the thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in. So I pulled out my gun and started blasting.
Of course you were, that's only natural.
I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. Fiendish foreign film flammery. Or flimflammery. Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English. Good point, but my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes I do, and I'm fine. The next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here. So he blatantly just confessed to everything.
Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine. He's not fine now. Do you want to go to jail? Yes, I do. How's your head after we kicked it 5 times? I'm fine. Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, the simple mister is more than enough. Oh, yes, alright, yeah. They've really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. But please, I beg of you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you? Well, Why? Why? Why is it so hard to say yes to me? Well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself. On a study tour. A student? I have defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Damn. So poignant. I'm not even the foreign student who was supposed to be here. I'm a sort of locum lawyer, I suppose. But that armband... That's the mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. He was my best friend. A keepsake? This sword is also from him. I know exactly what they're saying about me.
Oh? Who do you mean?
The lawyers. All the British defence lawyers. They won't defend me.
Goodness, why do you say that?
For the same reason as you noted before, when it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. Yep, I imagine people wouldn't want to go near that with a barge pole. But how does it work as a lawyer? Because even if you lose the case, obviously it sucks, but you still get paid, right? It's blatantly so bad for your reputation, though. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit. It must be very hard for you. And anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody to them. Someone not to be trusted. Damn. Life on the outside. I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And, of course the foreigner did it. They even had the gall to say the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway. What scumbags! Now we have to take the case. That's awful! They're wrong. I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets. I've travelled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. Goddamn. Gotta be nice. Pay it forward. So at the very least... I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue. Oh man, we're this guy's last chance. And it's all Herlock Sholmes' fault! You could do it! Couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I can see it. I can see what you've been through. It's just that... Uh-oh. Where's he going with this? Give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can. For the time being. What do you mean?
We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. If we can find some clues, it will give us a much better chance, I'm sure.
Yeah. Good shout. Try and drum up some evidence and a few ideas. And then we can try and tackle the impossible case. Oh yes. Yes. Thank you. I'll be here. All alone. Waiting for you. Locum student.
We should be going then. We have a case to prepare for.
See you later. Move. I guess Briar Road, right? Yeah, maybe we can actually check the scene of the crime now. It makes sense. Hey. Definite progression. Hey, it's Chip Boy. What's a Japanese delegation doing here?
Oh, Inspector.
This isn't on the tourist trail, as I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So, you've been in the holding cells then? Would you make it a criminal?
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect.
We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict's a foregone conclusion. Ugh, the stone-cold air of rejection.
Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone-cold Steve Austin.
That makes it worse somehow. No, that only makes things better. The rattlesnake. Right, suppose we'll chat to him. Scotland Yard.
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector.
Man, I really hope this investigation part isn't too long. I well want to get back in the courtroom.
Ever since I've read about it in that book, I've been fascinated by the place.
The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organisation you'll find anywhere in the world, Mom.
Oh, and you know, I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet.
It does make them look the part. Seeing that policeman there with his helmet on, you certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city.
Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful?
Being the London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you eat your chips. Then you get some fish. You know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the labourers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He's a rooster? Yep. Raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit.
I had no idea.
That's brutal official day off. Piss off, cop. The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He is to cover 20 miles a day. That's a regulation distance. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. Oh damn. Different measurement units in Japan, I guess, right?
Let me see. 20 miles, that's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And when it gets dark, of course, it is the most important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my.
And I suppose in between all of those duties, Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well.
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly, more alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. we do have men keeling over from time to time, I admit.
I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you.
Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. What? Sure. Little filler question, why not? It happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind.
Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's been treated in hospital.
I never said she was a lady. Truth is, until she comes round pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all.
I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course.
You put chips in this pocket? What? Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want.
Really? Are you sure?
It's the odd policy to give lawyers defending suspects the odd bit of information to go on. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still.
Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept.
We got the map. Now we need the compass. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countryman. So who did it, do you think? Not much of an head scratcher, is it?
Well, I know he's also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, Mom, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? We have 2 very reliable witnesses, no less.
Ah!
It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see him.
There were witnesses now?
Okay, let's immediately follow up on that. Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife, and the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
Ah!
A policeman? That might change things.
And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was stabbed?
Nothing peculiar about that, Mom. Part and parcel of being a bobby, catching and banging the act and all that.
Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions?
Be my guest, you can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Oh, I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So, that'll give you something to look forward to.
That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. A policeman witnessed the incident? As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed.
Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Oh yeah, one more thing, Inspector. What?
The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
What are you bringing him up for?
Was it something I said? The colour is drained from his cheeks.
Mr. Sholmes. Okay. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not?
Well,
Makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole.
Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean?
There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying.
Hey, we beat him once before.
It is all a bit strange though.
Sorry?
The Reaper, he hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
What? He was in court the other day. Yes, we did hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals. The violent ones.
Master criminals? The violent ones?
Interesting. That's right, he handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But he wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely? That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but he didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So, this isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. It's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's gotta be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
You think I can tell what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial.
Are we really going to have to face the Reaper again?
The Lord of Darkness, as he put it. Okay, let's see what this is and leave it there, I guess.
You would imagine we'll get to inspect the old crime scene afterwards.
Who did you hear that name from?
Well, it was him who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of his inspirational great deductions.
Fiddle faddle. Ah! The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
Oh.
I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of a crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case.
He squashed his cod.
You animal!
Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble! Ah! Ever seen this before?
Oh yeah, that's Rants Magazine. The wonderful publication!
Yeah, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories, and the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Sholmes tale at all.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that.
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be fronted by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us as Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals.
That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Clearly the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Nice. Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful info out of the detective. Right, see what she says. Can I make a suggestion? Oh, yeah, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. What? By him, do you mean... Oh, no. Yes, exactly. Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, he did blame him for all of this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. The trouble is, we have no idea of the man's address even. It's Baker Street. How do you know that? It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Oh man. Righty guys, that sounds like a perfect place to leave it. So we're going to go see that clown next episode by the looks of it. So boom, let's leave it there. Of course, if you like the looks of any of the suggested videos flooding your screen at this very moment, check some of them out, and more importantly, let me know what you think. If you've missed any of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles so far, then catch up, because it is always a giggle, and always strange. But the main thing guys, as always, I hope you're well, thanks for watching, and see you again next time.